Today is a good day for Phillips County and Helena-West Helena. Today, we were able to go out and apprehend some suspects. Today is a good day based off the fact that with help from outside help from Arkansas State Police, the FBI, DEA, and U.S. Attorney Office, we were able to apprehend quite a large number of individuals. But today is a good day, being that we're trying to bring back law and order for our city and for our county. For a long time, we were always known as the armpits of Arkansas, but now we're going to make it right. Today, we actually made it right. Today, the efforts from all parties, including the Helena-West Helena Police Department, we were actually able to apprehend a suspect who actually turned himself in because, in his terms, we made it hot today for him. Today, Mr. Melvin Jefferson. Melvin Jefferson is wanted for the murder of Mr. Marvin Perry, which actually happened November 21st, 2018 at the location of 937 Memphis Street. He is wanted for capital murder, 2 counts of attempt capital murder, aggravated residential burglary, possession with the firearms by a certain person. This person turned himself in today while the news media was actually walking through the front door of the Helena-West Helena Police Department. That says a lot about our community, because the efforts from the community calling in, making these things hot for the bad guys, they turned themselves in. This is not going to happen anymore. We want to let the bad guys know we're going to rid out all the bad and the evil that's going on and all the chaos that's going on in our city. All the corruption that is going on is going to stop. You have to understand that I am truly vested in my hometown. This is my hometown. And with the efforts from the city council, who has been giving us all the help that we need, and the mayor, who is unfortunate that's not here, he's in Washington, D.C., is trying to make things happen here in Phillips County, we're going to move this city forward. And I, first and foremost, it's a gracious and a blessing to be able to have these individuals here today to help us out. But like I said, once again, we've had 4 homicides within a 2-month span. All have been solved. All except one are in custody right now. And for that individual that we're looking for, we're going to knock on your door. We're going to find you. So it'd probably be at your best bet to turn yourself in. But the most gracious thing that I can say today, we're making a move. And we're going to make changes with our government, with our police department, with the efforts that we have today, and coming together as one. Helena-West Helena will stand strong again. We will move our city. We will move our county, and we're going to work together. And it's just, once again, it's a blessing to be able to have someone to come in here to help us out. And I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. This is a gracious day for our department, that we're able to apprehend these individuals. And the things that we're going through right now, we're having a good community effort to be able to do these things. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Cody Highland with the U.S. Attorney Office. Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to invite all of the law enforcement officers that were involved in today's operation to please make their way up here, joining our next speaker, as the Chief said, United States Attorney Cody Highland.
Well, good afternoon. As the Chief said, today is a good day for the good guys, and a bad day for the bad guys. I know he mentioned that Mayor Kevin Smith was in Washington, D.C. I want to talk a little bit about him and his leadership. Mayor Smith came over to my office about 4 weeks ago and was a zealous advocate for the city of Helena-West Helena. He exuded leadership, and he's concerned about his city, and he's concerned about the safety of his people. And I want to thank him, and I want to thank the chief of police for their leadership in trying to turn this thing around. As most of you who are here know, Helena has seen some violent crime in the last 2 months. I think we've had 4 homicides in the last 2 months. I think the last 3 months of 2018, they had 4 homicides. And then that's not including the aggravated assaults and the thefts and everything else that the people of Helena understand have been going on. And so they are well on their way to trying to turn this thing around. One of the things that we like to do is we like to partner, because that's when we get the most things done. And I want to thank the U.S. Marshal Service for their leadership in this. They've spearheaded this along with the DEA, the FBI, the ATF, and the Arkansas State Police. Without them, this doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And as you all know, public safety is government's first responsibility. Without public safety, education and economic development does not have an opportunity to thrive. And that's what this community deserves. And that's what we're about today, is about returning the rule of law to this community and their public safety back to them. That's what this is about. And I'll just tell you this, today with Operation Press Your Luck, there were 44 arrests made, 44. And folks, that's not it. This is not over. It's not over today, it's not over tomorrow. We will be back, and we will be back sooner rather than later. This is one of those things where as law enforcement, we never really get to hang the mission accomplished banner. That doesn't happen for us. It's a consistent pressure that we have to continue to apply, and I can assure the people of Helena that we will continue to be a partner with you to apply that pressure. In fact, we met with the prosecuting attorney's office today and visited with them about some things that we can do together, and we intend to do that, and we intend to follow through, because when we do that and we work together, good things happen for our community. And I'm going to turn it over to some of my partners up here, but I do want to personally thank the law enforcement officers that effectuated this today. When we do an operation like this, we go through a pre-operation plan. And if you can see that, you would see that a large portion of that operation plan involves medical attention. And there's a reason for that. That's because this is a very dangerous thing. In fact, 7 years ago, with Operation Delta Blues, I think we had 1 or 2 folks shot. And so I want to thank them for being willing to risk their life to improve the lives of others. And there is no greater calling to man than those who are willing to do that. And I want to thank them for that. So with that said, Diane, Bill, wait. Anybody else have anything to say?
I'll bail you out.
Somebody say something?
Hey, my name is Bill Bryant, I'm the Director of the Arkansas State Police, and by statute, the state of Arkansas, it's our responsibility to assist other law enforcement agencies, and we do this all the time. But we met with the mayor and the chief and our captain, David Moore, who out of Forest City is responsible for this area. And we believe in a team approach, everything we do, whether it's federal, state, or local. We come together to serve the citizens of Arkansas. And so it was the honor of the men and women of the state police to participate in this, and we want to thank our federal and local counterparts for the invitation. Thank you.
We'll take a few questions. You know, obviously, we're not going to have a lot of information we're going to share. This is an ongoing operation, and so we'll be happy to take a few questions. Yes, ma'am.
What kind of charges are we arrested on today?
Well, we're not going to go into that today, but I can tell you that it'll be a variety of state, probably federal charges. Mm-hmm. Again, the idea is for us to fit where it's appropriate to fit. And if there are things that we can take federal, that we can get more time for people, that's what we'll do. If Todd Murray and his group can get more time, then we'll let them do that. Our goal is to take as many bad guys off the street as we can possibly take off the street. So that's, yeah.
Can you tell us a little about who these people are? I know in the past, Helena-West Helena has had some public corruption. Are any of these people public officials?
Not that I'm aware of. But I can tell you that public corruption is always a concern for the U.S. Attorney's Office. Yes, ma'am.
So it's 44 arrests made in how many hours?
Well, it started at 6 o'clock this morning. So I was told there would be no math in this job. So. But you know, look, there was a lot of work done, a lot of prep work too, and the U.S. Marshals deserve a lot of credit for leading the charge on that. But a lot of work done in a very short time. And I'm telling you, we're going to be back.
And what boundary are we talking geographically for that?
I think we had, how many state or counties do we have? 6 counties.
6 counties.
Mostly focused on health.
And so how big of a deal does that, how big of an impact does that make 44 possibly dangerous people off the streets?
Well, we hope it makes a great impact. You know, anytime you can take a bad guy off the street, that's one bad guy that doesn't get to do his thing. And so, we believe there's a direct correlation between taking bad guys off the street and crime going down. But again, folks, this, you know, there'll still be crime that goes on. It's just a matter of making sure that we have a consistent pressure and presence to be able to counter that. And so that's today's the beginning of that, and we intend to continue. I know in Little Rock, you know, the U.S. Attorney's Office with the help of the DEA and ATF and all of our federal partners, FBI with the Get Rock Task Force, you know, state police, I would argue that we've made a pretty significant impact, especially as it relates to gang activity.
So this office has taken down meth distribution hubs, gangs and their leaders. What kind of folks are we talking about in today's arrests?
Well, I think we're not going to go into gang affiliations and things like that, but I think there's gang activity that's occurred, and again, even if it's just one-off, if it's 44 bad guys that don't know each other, you know, that's enough for us, and that's something that this town can be proud of, and it's something they go to sleep tonight and think, you know what, our place is a little bit safer today than it was yesterday.
You said, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
You said the mayor of Helena-West Helena came to your office about 4 weeks ago.
I did.
Was that the impetus for this?
Part of it.
Part of it.
Clearly, we've heard from some other folks. Look, this has been a community that's, you know, there's been an acute crisis as it relates to violent crime. And, you know, that's not a secret. And so when he came over, it was, what can you do to help us? We'll do anything. What can you do to help us? And so that really started the ball rolling. Marshals got involved, and we're here today. So.
Do you have any kind of estimate on how much longer it might be, the operation might continue?
Well, I think this is going to be an ongoing operation. We're going to be back sooner rather than later. Delta Blues was 7 years ago. I can promise you we'll be back before 7 years is up. Anybody else? Then Craig, did you have one?
Yeah. Actually, I was wondering, do you know the number of officers and agents that took part in this?
There were over 100.
And was anyone shot?
No, ma'am. And let's just say thank the Lord for that. I mean, in these operations, it can get dicey really quick. And so when we talk about the fact that we're prepping for medical evacs and things like that, it means that there's a real risk. And, you know, I think a couple of weeks ago we had a TFO with the United States Marshal Service that was over here and had his car shot up. So it's a very real threat. Yes, ma'am.
In the city of Helena-West Helena, we've had a continual problem of people getting arrested, but then getting back out on the streets and continuing to commit. So we have a lot of repeated offenders. So is there anything that you guys are doing to just to make sure that doesn't happen in this case?
I can tell you that the reason the United States Attorney's Office is involved with gun prosecution is because at the federal level, we don't have parole. And so at the state level, they have to deal with parole. And on a felon in possession, most of the time it's a 1/6 parole eligibility. And you do the math on that. And a 0 to 6 term of years. And so you're looking at months if you get a conviction, not years. At the U.S. Attorney's Office, at the federal level, depending on their criminal history, we can get 5, 10, 15 years. We actually had a white supremacist that got 17 years. That all we had was a felon in possession. And so we offer real time. And that's what we bring to the table. But that, again, that's what I talk about with Todd's office. If there's something that they can do to get more time, then we're going to let them have it. We're not going to cherry pick. We're going to work with them. And that's what today is about. And so of the 44, or however many end up getting arrested, we'll work with them on who needs to go federal and who needs to stay state.
Could you tell us how many warrants have been obtained in this operation?
I believe there were 60 total warrants, arrest warrants. 63 targets, 63 arrest warrants. And I think 44, as of 10 minutes ago, we had 44 arrested.
You mentioned Delta Blues. Does that have any connection to these arrests? Do we know yet?
I don't think so. I mean, this is a more recent issue and problem, and it's about making sure that the bad guys know we're here and that we're going to be a force to be reckoned with from today forward. Anybody else? All right, guys. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.